It's always great. I mean, it's a gentleman for us, a basketball treasure chest right here in our midst. And we feel like we became fair weather, a bandwagon jumping friends, because we wait until he beats Duke and once again finds a way to just befuddle Coach K at Cameron Indoor with these crazy nutbags just yelling and screaming and trying to intimidate the hell out of his team. Goes in there and beats Duke. And that's when we say, hey, you know what? We ought to have Jim Larinaga on the show. But, Jim, I assure you, you're always in our hearts. How are you, Jim?
I'm good. I always like talking to the guys who jump on the bandwagon midway through the trip. So.
Jim Larinaga is coming on the show on Thursday. Let me watch the game against FSU because that was a hell of a ball game. But, a real tough way to end the 9-game winning streak.
We go to FSU. We take a 1-point lead with 7 seconds to go. And they go in for a driving layup, and unfortunately there's a foul called, and they make 2 free throws to beat us at the end.
Do you get that call or make that call in the park if you're, calling fouls on yourself? Do you get that call at the end of the game? What do you think?
I grew up playing in the park in a place called Parkchester in the Bronx. Oh. And if any of my competitors had called that a foul at the end of a 1-point game, they would have definitely been fisticuffs.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
And a very pleasant good morning on this fine Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be with you on ION Channel. Jeff Deforrest and one Mike Lubitz. I like this silhouette shot of you, Mike Lubitz, by the way.
It's dark and weird behind me, but I look, I guess, good. So to me, it's like, I guess that's the goal.
It's kind of like I was out playing tennis last night. You look up at the sky, and there's a bright full moon. That's what you look like. You look like the face on the King Crimson album there. No, good to see you, and I'm glad you're okay, especially after recovering from that experience that you had in the Broward County Courthouse the other day, where they nearly put you on a 2-day trial over some woman that had accidentally mowed down some shrubbery in her neighbor's front yard, and was facing like
system. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it made me go, "This is what they're doing with everyone's time." Okay.
Yeah, the criminal justice system. When you see how lame some of this bureaucracy is, and how pedantic it is, and how pedestrian all of the proceedings are, it sure is a far cry from watching like Law and Order and watching some of the trial scenes there, right? So, nothing like it. When they first put Court TV on, and you're watching, I remember watching the Ray Carruth murder trial, and also the 2 guys that whacked Binion. The guy had buried all that silver out in the desert in Las Vegas. So I used to like following these trials for some reason, but they were nothing like and conducted nothing like any trial that you saw on TV in any law drama, any legal show drama, including Perry Mason, which was my all-time favorite, where, you had Lieutenant Tragg and Hamilton Berger was the how did he continue to be nominated and or selected as the district attorney in Los Angeles? Hamilton Berger, who nearly sent, I guess, I don't know how many episodes of Perry Mason were there. He nearly sent like 105 innocent people to the chair. He was never right. It's kind of like most of the handicappers that you see on TV. Well, I went 0-5 this week, but I tell you what, my best bets, that was the under in the Cincinnati game. And they gave you the one winner that they had out of 15 plays that they gave out over the air. Anyway, good to be with you guys. We have the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on tap today. And we have located the Polyman. The Polyman is going to make an appearance here on the show. Well, not an appearance, but you will hear from the Polyman on the show. Dave Gurggles Gergely figured out all of his technical difficulties over there at what was Shula's. It's going to be hard not to call that place Shula's, isn't it? I mean, it was Shula's forever.
Yes.
Shula's Steakhouse, Shula's Steak 2, Shula's Hotel. I mean, Don Shula, the only guy that owned more property in South Florida or the state of Florida than Don Shula, or had his name attached to more things than Don Shula, believe it or not, was another Don. No, not Don Corleone. It wasn't Meyer Lansky. He might have owned a lot of stuff, too. Yeah. Lansky, when he was here. And I guess what? Was Lansky's character kind of the Hyman Roth guy in the Godfather movies? That was actually a portrayal of what? Yes. Meyer Lansky, of course. young Jewish man. He lived in humble surroundings, did he not? He was like in some 2-bedroom in Pembroke Pines. His
Yeah,
kids
he
were
never wanted
sillies.
to, show off. He wanted to be in obscurity his whole life.
The only guy, and this was an odd discovery, the only guy that owned more property and more land here in South Florida than, or was affiliated with more stuff than Don Shula was the bowler, the great bowler, Don Carter, believe it or not.
Everywhere. Everywhere was Don Carter.
No, but I mean, you would go and buy like a townhouse in Boca Raton. It's like, well, who owns the property? Don Carter. Some developer would come in and try to put up a mall somewhere. Well, who owns the property? Don Carter.
Always.
Who checked out a long time ago. Was a real gentleman, too, man. Hey, remember he had the crooked elbow, Lubie? I don't know if I can demonstrate it properly on TV.
I didn't know Don Carter.
Don Carter, one of the, I mean, you could say that he was the greatest of all time. He could easily have had the GOAT title in professional bowling, although, I mean, there were others that had phenomenal accomplishments. The recently departed Mark Roth, Jewish kid from Brooklyn. He was the first guy to really crank it, man. Carter threw kind of a straight shot, right? He didn't have a lot of hook on the ball, and that came later on. Mark Roth was really the first guy to develop that cranking style, where the ball went and hovered over the gutter about midway down, and you're thinking, wow, a pro just threw a gutter ball, and then all of a sudden, wham! Right into the pocket to splash some pins. But the prize money on the Pro Bowlers Tour wasn't all that hefty. I mean, remember, I used to watch this every Saturday, Lubie. It was kind of crazy. I'm sure a lot of you geezers that are in the audience had this experience also, because we were riveted to the PBA Tour on ABC with Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. And I was big into bowling for some reason. I guess you were too. What happened there? That whole desire to bowl. I don't even have the desire to take a ball back. I had a chance to bowl for the first time in years at the great Albert Castella's birthday party. He had a surprise birthday party. Well, he didn't hold it. I mean, obviously he was surprised by it because he comes in with his bowling ball and shoes, and all of a sudden there's 50 people there going, hey! But Albert really got into it. Albert's quite the sportsman, the gentleman who provides the musical interludes. Although, do you sense a little bit of a stiff job right now? Weren't we supposed to get some customized music there?
I'm going to touch base with him now. Yeah, I have to touch base and see, because
I would imagine this, that unless he's just going to bed, musicians are not easy to contact at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'm reaching out to him now so that at some point today he gets back to me. I don't know when the hell he wakes up.
Will he get back to you? Because, a lot of times, too, when people don't deliver, when they don't come through, when they've made promises that turned out to be, I don't want to accuse Albert of this because he's busy. He's on the road. I mean, it was a rough year for musicians, the last couple of years, actually, where venues were being shut down, shows are being canceled at the last minute. All of a sudden, there's another outbreak. The Omicron strain is out there, and everybody's getting this now, Lubie. I mean, everybody. I played tennis with my son last night. He had it.
Oh, really?
But there are not necessarily enough tests out there for people to figure out. I mean, he feels fine now. Obviously, he played a couple of sets of tennis, ran like a maniac. He ran like he was Carl Lewis the entire night. Man, this kid is fast. I say kid, but I mean, he's going to be 39 years old in a couple of weeks. I don't think, I still had some athletic ability left and the ability to move a little bit when I was 40. And that's kind of when it started to dissipate because I got out of playing basketball every day. And once the routine ends, it's pretty tough. I mean, could you run around a block? Right? I guess you could.
I can, but I can't do it for a long, long time. I can't do it like I used to.
No. I told you how I developed. I was a very slow runner as a real young kid. And then I was never like fast enough to go out and, compete in 100-yard dashes and run any kind of respectable time. But, and it was always baffling to think that you were running as fast as you could. And when considered like a fairly fast runner, I mean, if I was playing football or whatever, and I was going out on a pass pattern, I could blow by somebody if I had to. Not necessarily the fastest guy in the neighborhood, but I really enjoyed running. And I had changed my running style and where I developed. Going from a fat, slow slug into a fairly decent runner with a reasonable amount, at least a burst of speed. That's all you need in sports is a burst of speed.
Yes.
Right? Because you have to be able, you may not be able to sustain it for, Gurggles is ready to go. That's good because we're going to get into the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here in a few minutes. And there he is. He looks handsome as usual.
That's good.
And he's always got, what's great about Gurggles? Gurggles was made for TV and for video streaming because he always brings props.
Oh,
He's not afraid. He's a showman, which is what this
smarter than we are.
whole business is all about. We're trying to sell the stuff that's behind us, right? Anybody want to buy this shit? That's our philosophy.
You're thinking.
He's got cigars. He's got everything. He's got hats. I mean, whatever you need, he's got them to sell. Gurggles going to join us here in just a few minutes, and we'll get into the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, which I hope I gave the Polyman the right number. That's 954-417-0700. Is that right, Mike?
I love you still trust the Polyman. I don't, and I adore him. I'm going to call him. I don't wait.
Oh, you're going to call him Polyman? Oh,
I'm
very
not waiting
good.
for Polly to call me. That's why I brought up Gurggles. You guys can say good morning.
I got a bunch of appointments I have to keep, and I wish I could do the whole game. I think that was just, I don't know. I think he really is busy with a bunch of stuff, but I believe he just didn't want to look bad not being able to turn on his computer again, because Gurggles figured it out. It took him a while, but he figured it out, and he found a way to make this happen, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, in the fashion that you guys are accustomed to. But that's the right number, isn't it? 954-417. It's 417, right? 0700. Call in on the show. We tried to sell some shirts there yesterday on the program with that phone number, and I don't think we got any calls. I was trying to sell the fully vaccinated shirts on the show, and I may have to resort to just giving them away as prize material, although I don't know that that's enough incentive to have people play the game. We do have the Landlubbers gift certificate that we're giving away here on the program, and we'll conduct one colossal game today of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. So, and limited phone access. So if you hear a busy signal, just keep calling, because the one guy that happens to have access to the phone lines, the one phone line that we have, is occupying. So don't get distressed or dismayed or dissuaded from playing a game at 954-417-0700. That's going to be happening in just a few minutes here on ION Channel. A couple of things before we get into the game. And we have the playoff games coming up. Well, we'll have all kinds of handicap and steam tomorrow on our Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. And that's going to be brought to you by the great people at Gulfstream Park. You have Derrick Henry now cleared to play, it looks like, in the Saturday game for the Titans. I was reading an article today about how the Titans are the most disrespected number one seed since 1983. I don't even know who was a number one seed in 1983. I'm not even sure that the playoffs were structured this way. Obviously, there were less teams involved in 1983, but the most disrespected team. Nobody thinks that they belong in the playoffs. I don't know about belong, but nobody thinks they're going to go anywhere. And a lot of people like Cincinnati in this ball game. And Cincinnati is getting 3.5 points in this one. Derrick Henry comes back for the Titans. Oddly, Henry played a little less than half the season now. You have a 17-game season. Gurggles leading the league in throat clearing once again there. I don't know. Pot that mic down for a second there, Gurggles, and we'll get you into the show.
Okay,
and we won't hear. I mean, it sounds like somebody is, finishing up in the bathroom there. But nonetheless, nearly half a season. 8 games Derrick Henry played, gained like the rushing game for the Titans during that period of time. He gained almost 1,000 yards in 8 games.
Yeah, he was playing out of his mind. He was an MVP candidate.
He was great, and is great. There's no question that he's a huge factor there, because you have to dedicate at least 5 guys to trying to tackle this cat.
Yes.
And that allows Ryan Tannehill to look like a Super Bowl quarterback.
Exactly.
Which I know you are, ready to just get on a dilaudid drip, Lubie. If there's even the most remote possibility, should the Tennessee Titans prevail at home as 3.5-point favorites over the Cincinnati Bengals, you realize where that puts us.
Yeah, exactly.
1 game away from Ryan Tannehill carrying a team on his back to a Super Bowl appearance. Something that he could never do here. The Dolphins coaching search, by the way, where is that at? We have no idea. We know that they sent Brian Flores packing, and he's a candidate for like 6 different jobs. And I'm finding this surprising. The guy that's gathering a lot of steam is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn. I think of Dan Quinn as nothing special. I mean, is that not the common old school retread guy? I know he did a nice job this year with the defense of the Dallas Cowboys, who were lousy, up until this season.
Yes.
And, he wasn't terrible. I mean, he had a 1 game over 500 record, like 43-42 when he was a head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. But everybody's going to remember that choke job in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And it wasn't like he didn't have, most head coaches that come into new spots and get a first-time opportunity to be a head coach, they're usually dealing with lousy quarterbacks. And quarterbacks that are unproven, and quarterbacks that may never develop into really competent, top line, top flight quarterbacks that you can count on to do things like Kyler Murray couldn't do in that postseason game. I mean, when you need the guy to line up and do something special at the moment of truth, even if it seems relatively insignificant. I was talking yesterday. I had lunch with the great John Congemi.
Nice.
And Tommy Fox, and we were talking about this, and everybody knows this. It's not like this is something that you need Mike Mayock to explain to you. But you're down 14-0. Your offense has done nothing. You're late in the first quarter of a ball game, or into the second quarter of a ball game. You've had a couple of drives and really gone 3 and out. Maybe made 1 first down, ran 4 plays. They'd run like 7-8 plays. At that point, a top flight quarterback orchestrates some kind of and executes some kind of a drive that gets your team at least back into things. So that instead of throwing a pick at the goal line while desperately trying to avoid having a safety against you and throwing the dumbest pass that we've probably seen in NFL history. No, Gary Apremian is off the hook. Hey, Garo, you can rest in peace now.
That was rough. He was like parallel.
That pass was worse than the Gary Apremian pass in the Super Bowl, because at least that came from a kicker who was in a situation that he wasn't accustomed to.
Yep.
Although Don Shula, I mean, to this day, I mean, if he was still with us, anytime he brought that up, he would just give you that look like, really, Defo? You want to talk about the Apremian pass play? I mean, what about Marino? He could chuck the rock.
Every time.
That's for sure. But nonetheless, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. Derrick Henry comes back. And in the second 8 games, well, it was 9 games, so maybe that's the discrepancy there. But Tennessee actually ended up gaining more yards on the ground in the last 9 games of the season than they did in the first 8 when they had Henry. So they lost nothing.
No.
With Derrick Henry being out of there, but it's one of those things, right, where you can have a wide receiver come in and maybe fills in and makes 8 catches in the game that Jerry Rice sits out.
Yeah.
But what would you rather have? Would you rather have that guy, unproven commodity, or Jerry Rice, who's been doing it game in and game out against triple coverage for the last 15 years? So Tennessee, though, getting no respect, Lubie. What do you think? Tennessee, Cincinnati. I want your honest opinion on that game. Tennessee, Cincinnati on the road. Cincinnati back into being the darling of a lot of the people that analyze football and think they have a line on who's going to win in the playoffs or any game for that matter. The 3 and a hook might be tempting if you think Cincinnati's in there with a chance anyway. But I believe your worst nightmare,
I know it sucks,
is about to come true, and that is that Ryan Tannehill will be 1 game away from a Super Bowl. Because just the home field and the fact that I don't know how effective, even if Henry is not 100%, this other guy that looked like Jim Brown that they brought in there.
Portland is still a beast. So, they're going to beat Cincinnati. I don't know if it'll be a runaway. Burrow's found.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, but I mean, I would think that, that is possibly true, that they are not garnering the respect that they should. They sat out a week. Cincinnati had a tough ball game. They kind of faded in the second half in their game last week against the Raiders, and nearly allowed the Raiders to come back from the grave. And speaking of, we're talking about a lot of dead guys on the show. Don Carter, Gary Apremian, Shula. Maybe we ought to get into somebody that's alive, like Dave Gurggles Gergely. Anyway, that's one intriguing game, as Al Bernstein would say. And the other game, Jimmy Garoppolo really banged up. For the 49ers. He has a shoulder problem in addition to the thumb that's been bothering him. So he is largely error prone. I mean, he's one of those guys that at some point in time makes like a really stupid mistake.
Yes.
And, he's been kind of airmail in a lot of his passes. Maybe the thumb is bothering him to an extent. Girls, are you all right?
I'm fine.
You just pot that mic down while we'll get right to you here, my friend. The throat leads the league in throat clearing. Dave Gurggles Gergely. Jack is always, amazed that radio guys in particular have that many problems clearing their throat. Also, you have the Bills and the Chiefs now down to 1.5. Louis, Bills and the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Bills are getting 1.5 on the road against the Chiefs, and the Bills look the best of anybody in decimating the New England Patriots. I don't know that the Patriots were that good. I have a little bit of a different point of view than a lot of people do, where people are saying, well, you see that Belichick, he ain't that great. He can't win without Brady. I think he won a bunch of bag ladies this year, got them into the postseason, and they were in there with the consideration that they had a shot to win that game on the road against the Buffalo Bills. They did get trounced, and Kansas City looks vulnerable to me. I don't know. Where are you going with that one, Lubie? Bills and Chiefs.
Well, just a heads up. I don't know if you can see. Polyman is ready whenever you want.
Oh, good. Okay. All right.
But I think that, again, like we talked yesterday, I still don't trust the Bills in big moments, and I do trust the Chiefs. And I think their defense has improved, and I think their offensive line's massively improved. So I think the Chiefs are the unsung team for some reason in the AFC.
All right, Lou, hey, give me everything on the Bills.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Mike Lubie Lubitz, human kiss of death, says the Chiefs defense, which will get shredded by Josh Allen. See, you base a lot of your opinion on the fact that, you resent that we have Tua at quarterback, even though you pretend like you're a big fan and you think he's going to really do it, and that we didn't get any of these other guys, like Josh Allen, who was probably available to the Miami Dolphins by some method, and everybody thought, well, you know what? He's not that accurate of a passer. All right, let's do this. I'm going to tell you about Hialeah Park. We're going to come back and play the game. You can dial us up. We'll have the Polyman with us and Dave Gurggles Gergely. You can see Dave Gurggles Gergely. You can also hear Dave Gurggles Gergely, who was gurgling here on the program early on. The Polyman's going to join us as well. We'll have a little bit of fun, and then we'll get into the game. You can dial us up, 954-417-0700. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge brought to you by the great people at Hialeah Park. It's right around the corner. We're talking about next weekend, Lubie. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Ladies and gentlemen and boxing fans around the world. I mean, it's going to be great. A dynamite show coming up at Hialeah Park. That's going to be the 28th, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Many Cuban superstars that were obviously brilliant as amateurs and have come here to the United States and other parts of the world, mostly based out of Miami, and they're all making a big mark and huge strides in the professional ranks, and a lot of these guys are really spectacular. You're going to be hearing a lot about them. Of course, we had the great Joel Casamayor, Arislandi Lara, and a lot of other Cuban stars. I was always a big fan, even though he didn't really pan out to the potential that people thought he would, of Yuriokis Gamboa, man. A very exciting fighter. Yeah, I loved Gamboa. But seen so many. King Kong Ortiz was just fighting the other night. Got kind of a weird technical knockout in his fight against a guy named Charles Martin, who at one time was the IBF, I believe, heavyweight championship. He had the title for about a half an hour before he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. But this card's going to be great. You're going to have a lot of fun out there. Live boxing, there's nothing like it. If you're a boxing fan and you haven't been to a live event, you really owe it to yourself. Take advantage of the opportunity to get down to Hialeah Park. You can play in the casino. You can play poker. You can punch away on the horses in the Champion simulcasting room. We'll be riding out to Las Vegas that weekend, courtesy of an event that happened at Hialeah Park, because Evan, don't mention my name, won the entry into the NHC. And Jersey Kyle and I decided, really, Evan, you're going to Las Vegas? Well, we'll come out and support you, even though there's a likelihood we won't see this man for, what would that be, 96 straight hours. Yeah, we had dinner at the Circus last night. Steak was great. What'd you do, Evan? I was buried in his room and a stack of racing forms. But that all happened at Hialeah Park. Good things happen. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Good things happen at Hialeah Park. All right, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on tap. The Polyman Dave Gurggles Gergely. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz, back with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge and our colossal king-size championship game in a moment. Now that. Time. It is 7:24.
Hey there, it's Mike Mayo. Do you like steaks? Do you like seafood? Do you like classic old Florida charm? You get that all and more at Tropical Acres Steakhouse in at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of 95. The Studiali family, they've been running the place a long time. It's been there more than 70 years. And it is now a place you can get early bird specials along with steaks to take home and throw on the grill yourself at the butcher shop. That's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It's open for dinner every night starting at 4:30, but they are closed on Sundays. Go to Tropical Acres. It's a place to go for a great meal, great people, good value. Tropical Acres.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Hey folks, Tony Segreller here. You know, since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapist, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a house and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. This comes from the great Defo Llama. It's the bets you don't make, the chances you don't take, that can compromise an otherwise incredible life, my friend.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz, and we're hoping whoever's having the problem there is still alive. We have the Polyman with us and Dave Gurggles Gergely. You can see Dave there on the screen. Let's welcome Dave to the program. Dave, are you okay? I mean, is that you?
I'm fine. Early in the morning, sometimes with coffee, it gets me a little bit, but I'm drinking water. I'll be fine. I'm in great shape. Looking forward to the show, and maybe next Friday night, thinking about going to the fights at Hialeah, then going to the casino till 5 a.m, do a little gambling, and then get a bite to eat for breakfast, and stay right there and watch the Pegasus at Hialeah. Why not?
My kind of day. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. That's a Hialeah trifecta.
Well, you'll be in Vegas.
I'll be in Vegas. Very disappointed about a couple of things that I had the opportunity to do. I had an opportunity and a chance to go to Lambeau Field for the conference championship game. If the Green Bay Packers prevail this week over the 49ers, which I'm expecting them to do, I would have had tickets for the game at Lambeau Field, which I've never been to. And so I don't know. I don't like to think of it as a bucket list because that bucket is almost hovering over my head right now. But no, that would have been great. And, I don't know how easily it would have been to tolerate the cold because the blood does thin out here if you're in South Florida for a long period of time. I used to be able to deal with cold, no problem. I was one of those guys in the stands with a Bears emblem, sitting in the snow and had no problem with any of that while at Syracuse, so one of the coldest freaking places on the planet. But that would have been an interesting development. But Vegas canceled out both of those things. And you would have to say, let me bring in a Polyman, Dave, because doesn't Vegas take precedence over anything? I mean, maybe short of like your mother or father's funeral, a trip to Vegas that's already scheduled. There's nothing impromptu that can pop up. There's nothing of any level of importance, including maybe, your chance to finally make it in life after years and years of struggling and grinding against the wheel. But if you're going to Vegas like next week, you're going to Vegas. Would you say that it's 100% commitment once you book the flight? Polyman, how are you, by the way?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Everything's good. What do you think? I mean, where do you prioritize a pre-booked trip to Vegas over a bucket list activity like going to Lambeau Field for the conference championship game with the Packers in some very nice seats, although in frigid confines, or maybe I don't know. I guess attending the funeral of a friend. Do you blow that off for if you already have a trip planned to Vegas? So, what's your philosophy on that?
Well, I happen to agree with you. I had a close friend, a real gentleman, a super good guy. And I remember one time his parents said to him, but your sister is getting married that day. He says, my sister's getting married. Who cares? I'm set for 3 days in Vegas. What are you out of your mind? I mean, I think it's a simple one, people. You're right on the money.
Yeah, when it comes to matrimony, I mean, there's no easier place to tie the knot, as evidenced by me. Which I was 0 for 1 the first time, and who knows? I'm not sure how this next one's going to stack up. But in fact, I don't know. I mean, what's the statute of limitations on annulment if you had a Vegas marriage license, or do they matter at all? I mean, what's the value of a marriage license that was attained in Las Vegas? What do you think, Gurggles?
I think it's the statute of limitations has to be 7-11. You have to figure that. And
That's
yet,
right.
Paulie talks about that, but wouldn't Paulie have been great this past July out there for your birthday,
Oh,
sitting
my
in that
God.
Caesar's pool with a drink in his hand, just talking to the girls there? He would have been terrific.
Especially since Marty the Party Sachs was a little bit lit, and he was throwing $25 chips. And
That's right.
all of a sudden, you would have seen Paulie Man looking very much like Jacques Cousteau, I think. Might have even been diving in the fountain there that's out in front of the Bellagio. I saw several dollars worth of change gathered right near the ledge there, which would have been easily reachable. Paulie Man, what do you think? I mean, you obviously are a keen observer of football, and we have the playoffs on tap. Lubie's worst nightmare would be Ryan Tannehill taking the Tennessee Titans to a Super Bowl. Because, how many times did every sportscaster here in town or anybody that ever wrote a word about the sports landscape here in South Florida say, Ryan Tannehill will never take a team to a Super Bowl? And Lubie was the biggest proponent of that. And I think if they win this first game, which I think they're going to beat Cincinnati, I don't know what you feel, Paulie Man, that you will see Lubie on the show all next week looking very much like Joe Biden did yesterday at that press conference.
Wow.
They got one of those teams that now everyone is rooting against because no one wants to see them go to the Super Bowl. They got a great coach. But I thought going into the playoffs that the way it's set up with the seedings, that the winner of this is no big surprise, but that the winner of Buffalo, Kansas City would end up going to the Super Bowl. Both real good teams. That's some game. Buffalo's tough, man. Buffalo's a good team.
They look excellent, yeah, and the steam's starting to come in on that. Although Gurggles, who is also, I mean, once in a while, I mean, Gurggles comes up with brilliant futures bets. And you made a couple when you were in Las Vegas for the big 70th birthday celebration, did you not? And you need me to take that ticket out there and cash it? I thought you hit on something.
No, I'm okay. I think the one I did miss out on, though, is I got 54,871 to 1 that it would be an all Pennsylvania Super Bowl. And
that looked good, Gurggles. We were thinking about you as both of the Pennsylvania teams were getting smoked. But many people felt that, with the expansion of the playoffs, there were teams that didn't belong. All right, so what are you thinking, Paulie Man? Buffalo Bills, is that your best bet?
No, not at all. That's not at all. That game got me mystified. It's such a great game, though, really. I'm watching some of these games this week. Okay, some were blowouts, but there were one or two super exciting games, and you got to say, man, there ain't nothing like the NFL, right? Just think, you look at another game. It's a 7th inning. Yankees are beating the Orioles 6-1. As great as a Yankee fan that I am, but come on, the NFL is really, really amazing. The excitement level, and people actually, guys really do have withdrawal after the football season ends.
Who, in essence, in your opinion, is controlling the officials? Is it FanDuel or DraftKings? What do you think, Paulie Man?
It's amazing how bad they got. Huh? Usually they seem to get a little better. I mean, and going back to baseball for a second with the home plate umpires, I got to admit, with home plate, I actually believe they should just go to the computer, strike ball. So I got to admit, there's 2 or 3 umpires that are just fantastic. They don't miss a pitch, but some of them, and of course, and the line has been for the last 20 years, well, that's his strike zone. Like the ball is, 3 feet outside and over his head. And then the announcer says, well, that's his strike zone. He's been calling that the whole game. So he's been miscalling every pitch the whole game.
They had an incident in the NBA last night, speaking of officials, where one of the coaches actually touched the ball and on a pass into the corner, and the refs didn't see it. They're standing right there, and then the ball ended up in the hands of a shooter, and he cans a 3-point shot after his coach had actually gotten an assist. That's a tough one to miss. But, I mean, imagine, too, we had this conversation with Jim Larinaga, and I know both of you guys played a lot of sandlot football, and you especially on the cement-paved sidewalks of New York, Polyman, which was not easy playing tackle on cement. But, nonetheless, people ventured out and did that, right? A lot of broken skulls. I think Russell Crowe had a better chance in a couple of those scenes with the Lions in Gladiator than you had of coming out of those games without sustaining.
But you got to realize with Paulie playing on those cement places in Brooklyn, he knew half the people that were buried underneath that cement.
And he watched the cement being poured.
Exactly.
That's right. So he knew the soft spots.
It's so funny that Gurggles said that, but he's so right on the money, and we never spoke of this, but like the huddle would be, okay, do it down and out, and I'll hit you where they bury Dom under the big Dom under the pavement there,
Yeah, every now and then, too, you wouldn't realize that the hood ornaments on cars at that time were exceptionally large and extended well beyond the front of the automobile. And you would literally, get speared, as you were going on a simple button hook to the outside. But no, it was rough. And, we were talking with Jim Larinaga about this. And that is, he got, I don't know that he got jobbed on his call. I mean, it was somewhat legit. Foul call at the end of the FSU loss that snapped their 9-game winning streak. He was on the show with us last week. And we were saying, if you call that in the park, he said, well, you were likely to come to blows, but you were just as likely also to, have your family kidnapped and held for ransom until you paid up the money that was lost by the team that got blown out by that bogus foul call that you made.
Those calls are very rare, like with 1-2 seconds left in the game. He's absolutely right. Oh, forget about it.
All right, Polyman. Well, I know you have many things to do, many appointments, so we're so happy you were able to, be with us here on the show. And I know you're planning your full return. Have you gotten past the password or any kind of code that you need to enter into your computer?
I was still struggling with that. Amazing.
He called me in the middle of the night the other day, and he said password, and he said he kept on typing in Alan Ludden. It didn't work.
And Alan Ludden, here's a trivia question for you: the love and the apple of whose eye, who just recently checked out?
Betty White.
Betty White, yeah. Famous marriage. I didn't realize Ludden checked out and rolled a 7 in what, like 1986? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's almost like the Fred Hooper, Wanda Hooper situation, is it not? Where the guy just kept on living. I mean, Betty White goes, 40 years past that, or almost 35 years, whatever it is.
Man.
Pretty amazing. All right, Polyman, you stay well. And always great to have you on the program. I know you have many fans out there asking about your whereabouts, and we always come back with the same 2-word answer: parts unknown. Thanks for being with us, Polyman. We're going to get the game started here in just a second.
Thanks so much. See you guys soon.
All right, very good.
Yeah,
Polyman, Paul Marcel. Yeah, that's. How about you hitting on that, Gurggles? Kind of by accident. That's how they did their pass routes. By where guys were buried under the sidewalk. Did you ever slide on cement? That wasn't popular in Allentown, was it? I mean, did you ever slide on cement?
No. We had parks with green grass and everything like that.
Oh, my God.
Basketball courts, yeah, not a problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
but
good.
I
It was
mean,
great.
that
We
was
used to
not
play.
necessarily by design. Yeah, when you're playing on
No,
asphalt.
but we would play every year. All the guys that played other sports would gather a couple days after Thanksgiving, and we would play against the football players, but without the pads and everything like that. So
Oh,
there was
great.
quite a few injuries back there as well. But no, we didn't. Luckily, we didn't have any problem with the streets or anything like that. We did have some problem with the Amish people and their carts and the horses going by, but other than that, we were fine.
That's because you were betting on them.
Well, yeah.
Some Amish guy is just going to deliver some, cream.
Yeah, the guy. One guy's
somewhere.
name was Jeremiah Filion, and he kept on holding his horseback. I don't know.
Leon.
And Gurggles is yelling with his friends, "You suck, Abatello!" Carmine stiffed his share of horses there at Roosevelt Raceway when I was a kid, and you know what? We were so naive. We thought, no, who would do that? And then you would see the guy, and he had huge biceps, and you're thinking he was the early guy for those like kind of bands, pressure bands, where
Yeah.
you don't need to lift weights because he was holding the reins so tight on that horse that you'd see the horse was in a rear naked chokehold. As Carmine broke him various times in the short stretch that was Roosevelt Raceway, and the favorites on a break. All right, we're going to come back with the game, our colossal game. Gurggles, you ready? You fired up a lot of questions for this
Yes.
thing, and you can dial us up. In fact, it's one at a time here. Even though we will still try and make use of the random phone scrambler, but let's face it, who are we kidding with that, Lubie? That's kind of like that iced tea thing I was talking about yesterday on the show, where iced tea is ensuring with car care the mechanical, soundness of his Bentleys.
Yeah,
So
right.
he's also throwing $60 a month with Chris Berman out there, so they can insure their automobiles
That's right.
against the need for an unnecessary or anticipated repair. All right, dial us up if you want to play 954-417-0700. I have that right.
0070. Call in 954-417. It's on the screen right now if you're watching us. 0070.
Okay, I couldn't see that up there, but nonetheless, that's the number. So give us a call, and we'll play our one game. I keep wanting to say game number one, but it's the one game,
It is.
actually, would
You're
be
right.
the way to put it,
It's the game.
of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here on Ion Channel. And going to be seeing the people from Ion Channel later on tonight. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun as we map out our plan of attack for 2022. You get asked that question a lot, too, Libby. Hey, so what the hell are you doing now?
Well, I'm trying to do a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, no, it's all working out. It's going to be okay. All right, we're coming back with more. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge continues in a moment. Don't forget about the great people at Hialeah Park. And if you win, you have the prop, right, Gergs? Perdomo Cigars? Very nice.
That's right.
Tell us about them.
Perdomo Cigars, located at 5150 Northwest 167th Street, right off the Palmetto, a little bit east of the Home Depot. Now, on the south side there, I went to see Nick and the gang. They're in their third generation now, making them perfect one at a time. Cuban seed tobacco grown in Nicaragua. Next month, I'll have the guys from Pittsburgh and the guys from Youngstown, Ohio, who always stop at Perdomo to get that cigar of the year, the 10th anniversary Maduro, which is an unbelievable cigar as well. Me, I like the Lot 23. My friend Fernando out at Silks, I'll take him a cigar maybe this weekend so he can watch his beloved Packers on Saturday night. But you can get a Perdomo cigar. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Want to call them first? No problem. 305-627-6700. Or you want to find a cigar place near you that sells them? They all do. Go online, www.perdomocigars.com. And once again, this weekend, while you're enjoying football, while you're enjoying horse racing, or just enjoying a day out, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right, dial us up, and you can play our game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here on Ion Channel. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, Dave Gurggles, Gergely has all the questions. He's going to have you unlock the deepest recesses of your mind to try and come up with the answers to some very, very difficult questions and challenging questions. Let's put it that way. More so challenging than difficult. Although, when you nail Lenny the Chronic with those ABA questions, and, the answer is the Kentucky Colonels. And I mean, I don't know how you do it, man. It's unbelievable. Nobody remember. I don't. Do you remember a lot of the teams, right? In the ABA, I don't
Yes,
anymore.
yeah, oh yeah.
Miami Floridians, I guess, was our local entry, but they
Yep.
were short-lived, were they not?
Right. They were. Rick Barry, they played in Coconut Grove, I think, at the convention center down there.
Yeah, which was
and
not
Rick,
exactly,
I think,
Caesar's Palace or anything in terms of,
I think his father-in-law was the coach, Bruce Hale, as a matter of fact. Yep.
Very possible. Yeah, Miami Floridians. And who was the guy that we had? We had the big
Ron
center.
Perry.
They had Barry and who was? I mean, he ended up in Kentucky, I think, also. Was it Artis Gilmore?
No.
Did they have Gilmore? No.
Artis Gilmore, yeah.
Gilmore, yeah.
Artis Gilmore. I don't think he played with Miami, but he was the all-time left-handed scorer. Yeah. Yep.
Really? That's there you go. And that was one of my questions. All right, we're coming back with the game here as we are on Ion Channel. I'm very happy to be there. You can Google the Defo Show, catch all of our action. And tomorrow we'll have our Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, and that's going to be great with Mark Lawrence. I don't know how he did last week. I think he lost he liked San Francisco. I know he liked San Francisco. He lost one of them though. Yeah, I think he liked the Raiders. That was the game that he lost. They were in the hunt, no question. I mean, I had a chance at the end of the game there to go ahead and throw what would have been a game-tying touchdown pass, thus covering the point spread, even in overtime. But unfortunately, that went awry, and Mark Lawrence went down in that one. But I think he had San Francisco in the other one, and they were getting points. All right, we're coming back with more with Dave Gurggles Gergely. Dial us up if you want to play the game. Mike Lubie Lubitz, Jeff Deforrest here on Ion Channel. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge continues in a moment. Now that.
The time
is 7:46.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West Side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the east side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Where, the professor has now been obsessed. He was betting all kinds of weird stuff. I almost said something that rhymes with zit. During the pandemic, right? That would have been 2 weeks in a row. Right? What's going on with that brain, Deforrest? You better get that Prevagen. You got any jellyfish I can eat? That seems to be the thing that restores your memory.
Jellyfish.
Do you buy into that?
No.
Because Diana Nyad would have never forgotten a thing if that was true. She was swallowing jellyfish from Havana to Key West.
That was sick. What was that? That was disgusting. That poor woman's face. I mean, you talk about looking like Chuck Wepner. She looked like Chuck Wepner when they pulled her out of the water.
She was wearing a jellyfish on her head that looked like a yarmulke, right? I thought she was straight out of shul. I'm like, wow.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Jeff Deforrest, Michael Lubie, Lubitz. Dave Gurggles, Gergely, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge today on the Defo Show here on Ion Channel, getting set to play our game. We'll do this hopefully till around 8:30 this morning on the East Coast, so you have plenty of time to dial us up. I keep juxtaposing the numbers, though, Lubie, and I actually can't see it on my computer screen here because I think it's being covered up by something. Your private chat where you said, hey, tell people to call. So I want to give the number out, and that is, let me see if I can get it right, 954-417-0070.
Yes,
is that
sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
0070. That's what you have to remember. 954-417-0070. Remember, Gurggles? You used to be like Jerry Lucas. You could remember everybody's phone number at one time, and you had like a zillion phone numbers committed to memory. And now,
we had...
I don't even know my own.
Mr. Mosquito.
Yes.
Bogart's American Cafe. We had all them logged down. But
yeah,
954-417-0070, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all you have to do to dial us up here. All right, let's get it started here. You ready to go, Dave Gurggles, Gergely? We'll start out our Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We want to get the contest going here for the people out there. Landlubber's gift certificate is up for grabs. And call us up if you're getting a busy signal. That's no surprise because right now and it seems like we keep saying we're going to correct this problem, Louis. I don't know what it takes, but we have one working phone line. All right.
We'll call you right back. So just thanks for calling in, and when we're done with our first player, I'll be calling you right back.
Beautiful. Okay, that makes sense. All right. With that, and it was great hearing from the Polyman, our esteemed colleague, the Polyman, who he's been busy with a bunch of stuff lately. I got some deals working here. I think this could really be the thing for us, Steve, after all these years of struggle, which would be great. Getting out late is better than not getting out at all. Would you agree, Dave Gurggles?
Right. I would, exactly.
Just make a get-out score, even late in life, even if she gets it all. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that you were able to pull that off. But in honor of the Polyman, we're going to start out our game with Dave Gurggles, Gergely, and some
easy baseball.
I'm glad
this longtime Dodgers manager, this longtime LA Dodgers manager, on why after 50 years of marriage, he could still be seen walking with his wife and holding hands. Explained it this way: we always hold hands. If I let her go, she shops. Was that Tommy Lasorda, Tommy Hutton, Don Sutton, or Don Diego de la Vega?
One of the all-time greats. And speaking of which, here's a random phone scrambler to select our first player of the game. And I believe he was carrying the spit bucket for the, what was it? It should have been the singing rabbi, not the fighting rabbi, Yuri Foreman at Hialeah Park, as he had his head nearly decapitated by Arislandi Lara, and that was before they even had the introductions. So we welcome Andy. And Andy, you bring up an interesting point here on the chat line. Andy, how are you, first of all, my friend? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks. How about you guys?
Doing well, sir.
We're hanging in there, man. By a thread maybe, but we are hanging in there. But you and Lubie were going back and forth about the guy, the obnoxious guy that always said, I got it, no matter what happened, and you were saying about when they drove the lane. But, and Gurggles, you're familiar with this, having played in some really, kind of testy, contentious basketball games at the Shula's gym that I saw you in, running full there.
Well,
on
I
that.
actually ran the 3-on-3 league there where they called their own fouls.
Yeah.
And a 21-point game would sometimes take an hour and a half because they had to go break those things up. So I know what Andy's talking about. Yep.
Well, and it wasn't just on drives, though. There was always the guy that was chucking like 30-footers up there when there was no three-point line. And, he yelled, screamed, I got it, every time he went up for a shot. Even when he gave like a head fake, I got it. You're like, you got what? That was always a hindrance to having any kind of fun going out there playing basketball. Larinaga, can you imagine in the Bronx, right? I don't think he took it far enough because he was talking about how they would get into a fight, maybe on a bogus foul call. But there was a good chance that you would have like the windshield smashed.
Exactly.
On your car, if you had driven to the courts there, or that there might be like some kind of explosive device placed on the bus that you got on after a call like that. All right, you're going to go with Lasorda, Andy, as your pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bavacqua.
Bavacqua. Okay, yeah, he could have said that though. Yeah,
we remember that quote.
All right, you have 1 point, Andy. You're in the game.
All right, Andy, football, true or false? This past week in the Pittsburgh area, when a snowstorm cancels school, the football players at Bethel Park were usually told to report at 9 a.m. for weight training. But instead, their coach tweeted out to all the players, instead of coming for weight training, I want each one of you to get a shovel, find an elderly neighbor, and shovel their drive for your weight training today, and don't take a penny for it. True or false?
What a nice thing. I'll say true.
That is
true. Believe it or not, they actually did that. Yep. Usually I don't like the nice stories. I like the other ones. But you're right.
Oh, that's
All right.
in conjunction with you being the evil seed, Dave Gergely, which you
exactly
would you agree, Lubie? He's mellowed over the years from the early days of evil seeddom.
Softer, yes.
Yeah, you've overcome a lot here. You must be seeing some spiritualist or something. 2 for 2, Andy. Going for 5.
All right, football, Andy. Who was the first team in NFL history to average 30 points per game and have a losing record for that season?
Good question.
Was it the Oakland Raiders, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Denver Broncos, or the Kansas City Chiefs?
So it's Denver.
Denver.
No. You have to go back to the 2004 Chiefs. They scored 483 points, but gave up 435, but still had a 7-9 record as a loser.
Wow. Yeah. Who's the coach of that team?
I had the under.
2 going for 7 here, Andy, to set the pace in our game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge today on Ion Channel.
Let's take you back in NBA history. Elgin Baylor on November 15th of the 60-61 season set an NBA scoring record when he scored 71 points in a victory versus...
Ooh.
Was that the Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks, the Cincinnati Royals, or the San Francisco Warriors? I mean,
I was 4 years old. I will go with Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Well, you should have waited until you were 6. No, it was the New York Knicks, and he also had 25 rebounds that game. Little evil
New
seed.
Yorker, I mean, you would have thrown the Knicks out there just, out of affinity and love for a great basketball once great basketball franchise. All right, Andy, thanks for playing the game. You may work your way back into the finals somehow. It's entirely possible with the new formatics here of the program. You can dial us up if you'd like to play. If you want to take a shot at winning that Landlubbers gift certificate and just being crowned a champion. And once again, I mean, bringing these contests, they can only grow in largesse and significance with the leadership that we get at Ion Channel. I see big things for this game down the road.
Yeah, we've often talked about this. Our questions aren't parochial to South Florida. Why not have somebody in Seattle at 4:30 or 5 in the morning call us, or someone in California or Utah? Yeah, we welcome everybody.
Yeah, I mean, even the Osmonds would be tempted to play the game to get that Landlubbers gift certificate.
Or the King family, yeah.
I think, we eventually, have some really, really, not that this isn't significant, but substantial prizes. And, that'll be it. The rest is history. Did I mention syndication, Gurggles? That might be the thing.
Yes.
But
syndication is vindication. That's our next T-shirt.
That's pretty much where I'm at right now. Actually, maybe as soon as today. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. If you'd like to play the game, we have Andy, who didn't tally a total worthy of being in the finals, but could be in contention to make it there anyway. So you can dial us up if you'd like to play. Gurggles has already told us about Perdomo cigars, but I know, and
Yes,
I think I'm going to venture down there in honor of the Polyman and his appearance on the show. We should mention that you can catch the Polyman still at the Magic City Casino, which Scott Savin, right, the innovator, he's got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. People thought he was out of his mind. I like people that are considered borderline criminally insane for their ideas, and then it turns out that they were right. And I've mentioned this many times about Hialeah Park. As I remember this vividly, going to a press conference where John Brunetti Sr. said he was going to, and this was after Hialeah had kind of been just there, holding quince parties and banquets and stuff. I mean, it had some activity there, but it was very limited. Still looked great, and we went out into that. Remember, they put that like pavilion in the back behind the walking ring. That's where he held a press conference, and a bunch of people came. And there were the usual political figures there from Hialeah, and they were all very much on board with the idea that John Brunetti was going to open a casino there. And people left there though saying, you know what, I think the old man has lost it. And sure enough, they did it. So you always like to see that when somebody had a vision, and Savin got the same reaction when he said he was going to bring Hialeah out there with like ex-UM football players. Right. And an atrocious opening press conference. I mean, it was springtime for Hitler, man, the way this was going down. And sure enough, it's like a very exciting game there now. So, sometimes you just have to stick to it. That would be the message of the day here from me, Mr. Full Moon, Mr. Cancer. I must be feeling it today. I don't know.
Feeling something.
Very optimistic about a lot of things for some reason.
Good.
All right. All right, we have players vying to come on the show here, and we're going to get right back into it with Dave Gurggles Gergely. We'll play this game till about 8:30 Eastern time this morning if you want to get in, and I think you should follow Gurggles' suggestion because of our overwhelming popularity in Asian countries around the world. I think we're big also in Australia, where they're holding the Open right now, although I guess it's like the middle of the night there. No, it's probably like 10 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah, wouldn't that be the thing? That was once a thing where you figured, to get perpetual life, just keep traveling to other time zones. Right? I can't die today.
If you can pass post,
that's it.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could pass post. Just one ticket. Just one. All right, we're coming back with more of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, brought to you by the great people at Hialeah Park. And you can catch the Polyman there at Magic City Casino, as we mentioned, frequently. I think he's there like 5 days a week, the Polyman.
Nice.
Which is great. So he's in like a sports room that they have, which, just the honor of being in the presence of the Polyman, I think would make it worth the trip. We're going to be heading to Hialeah Park. Well, I can't believe that. I mean, it's probably true. I don't know. Frank Fiore would probably say the same thing, that a scheduled planned trip to Las Vegas supersedes maybe only, like birth of first child. What do you think? I had this Vegas trip planned. I know you have to get to the hospital, but I made arrangements for Arnie to drive you there if something goes wrong. Mitch DeCavia is going to pick up your wife there while you're out in Las Vegas getting clobbered at the craps table there to the tune of about 6 sticks. All right, we're coming back with more here of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubitz. Dave Gurggles Gergely, the great Dave Gurggles Gergely, with us as well. And we will continue our game in just a moment here on Eye on Channel. Now that. It is 8:04.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of old school. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapists, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people. There is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Don't gamble in anger.
She hit the daily.
Very calm. Think it through. If you need a little help, don't gamble in anger.
I get a panicked phone call, and he says, "Do you have any extra cash?" I go, "Yeah, I brought money with me to Atlantic City." He goes, "Well, I can't get any more out of the card because the Mustang went wild and emptied the daily allotment of cash."
Double nickels, man. She went for a nickel on her card and a nickel on mine.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
It is very true. I mean, among the greatest opening lines of any book ever, even eclipsing, as we've often mentioned, Call Me Ishmael, opening up Moby Dick. Andy Beyer picking winners. Women and gambling don't mix. I think that's a fair statement. Gurggles, you've kind of approached it from a different angle, though. It wasn't like you were, dragging around a ball and chain, a.k.a. known as the wife who doesn't approve of gambling while you were in Las Vegas.
No, as a matter of fact, at your 70th birthday, the young lady that I brought out with me to Vegas was perfect. She put the room on her points. She'd go see some friends out there where I'd go gamble. We'd meet, have dinner. It was perfect. Yeah, it was a great way to do things.
Yeah, I mean, basically fighting unattached is the way to go.
Yeah.
No, the other problem is not only don't women and gambling don't mix, but gambling for two is not like being with the gambling gourmet Mike Mayo and having a little Chateaubriand made by Chef Angelo Elia. I mean, it's prohibitive. I mean, gambling for one is treacherous enough. Imagine gambling for two, my friend. As in your bankroll, two people. Yeah, unless you're filthy rich. I mean, it doesn't really work, right?
I've had many of first dates at a dog track or a racetrack, and afterwards they go, "You didn't even know I was there." I said, "Well, yeah, but the 6-horse couldn't lose." Come on. Yeah, exactly.
See, that's my second date. That's my plan at romance. Is second date, you have to see if she can take being ignored by you completely while you're sitting at a racetrack for 6 hours. And if she can handle that, it's a keeper.
Yeah. That's why I use it as a first date, because then I didn't have to pay for the $120 dinner on the first date. We go to the horses, and if she doesn't fit in, well, we skip that. Hot dog.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, if you factor in the $120 dinner, then you're stuck $300 at the track, and you're back to square one anyway because she realizes that you're a complete loser. Siegfried and Roy, aren't they both dead? I just saw like Siegfried and Roy pop up on the monitor that I have in the room here.
I don't think both died.
Oh, I don't know.
I think Siegfried checked out also. Well, Roy, he was the one that got eaten by the lion, right?
Yes.
And,
right. Yeah.
Okay, so I scratched that off my list of shows to attend. I just got all excited here. I thought, wow, this is great. Not only were they tremendous at what they did, but now they've come back from the grave and have a residency at Caesar's Palace. I mean, how great is that?
Well,
they were at the Mirage,
I'm
right?
telling you what,
Wasn't that their hotel?
we saw Off the Beaten Path. We went to see the Rat Pack. They were
Yes.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you came back very entertaining. Nobody liked Vegas more than Dave Gurggles Gergely. He was made to be an
Had a
MC
great time.
at
Had a
some
great
lounge in Las Vegas. It would have been great. And then, I just want to touch on this before we get back into the game, because I was trying to think what that Joe Biden press conference reminded me of, and it reminded me of like Casey Stengel in his last year managing the Mets. When he would say
Or when
things
he
that made like absolutely no sense whatsoever, but they called it Stengelese.
Didn't he testify before Congress or something? And then Mickey Mantle said, I believe everything Casey said. Remember that? Yeah, he had to testify about baseball.
He had him completely buffaloed. Yeah.
When I'm watching Biden yesterday, I'm expecting someone to say, and now to clear things up, let's bring Professor Erwin Corey to the podium.
Corey.
Holy cow.
You needed like an interpreter, man. I mean, I'm glad it's a kinder, gentler world, without all of the chaos of the previous administration. But geez, I mean,
I thought Biden was a big fan because he kept saying I don't know how many times I counted. Holy cow.
I mean, I love the answers too. Well, I don't know about this Putin guy. Well, if he does it, then we'll see. All right. All right, let's get back into the game. More important stuff here. Trying to decide a champion on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, brought to you by the great people at Hialeah Park. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, and we have Dave Gurggles Gergely, and Dave's going to fire up our next set of questions.
Here we go. Dog racing, even though we don't have it anymore, was a long time home at Magic City in Flagler.
Can I do my thing here? Dogs are in the box. And here comes Rusty.
Here comes the bunny. There goes your bunny.
Yeah, I love
a Canadian psychologist is selling a video that teaches you how to test your dog's IQ. Here's how it works. If you spend $12.99 for the video, your dog is a lot smarter than you. What's that? Jay Leno, Jay Johnstone, Jay and Americans, or Jay Silverheels?
All right, fire it up, Mike Lubie Lubitz, the random phone scrambler. Gives me chills to think we have NASCAR Roger. Wow, what an honor.
Right.
NASCAR Roger for the first time here on Ion Channel. NASCAR, how are you, my friend?
Well, we're good. We finally found you, and now we tie up our phone every morning here from 7 to 9.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. All right, put another one down. Lubie is keeping track of our audience growth by, like making one of those little stick lines, and then every 5 you put a line across it. Kind of like, they're trying to figure out how much potato salad they sold at a local deli. Okay, yeah, Lou, mark down 2. Yeah, 2 pounds out the door. All right, very good. You're in the game here, NASCAR Roger.
The coleslaw, exactly.
All right. All right, your true and false question, Roger. Track and field. Believe it or not, singer Sheryl Crow was a star 100-meter hurdle runner in high school. True or false?
True.
I believe that to be true.
It is true.
Yes.
That is true. That's right. She ran away from Lance Armstrong quickly.
Man, those skills worked, though. Remember, she was schlepping that baby through the Pyrenees, and Lance dissed her completely and then dumped her right after the race because she might have said something along the lines of, Lance, what's this in the medicine cabinet?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you shooting heroin? I mean, yeah. I mean, she had the right to question him. Sheryl Crow's a great performer, by the way, live. I watched this video of Sheryl Crow doing, All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun. And she breaks into like a Michael Jackson song after that with like a big orchestra kind of arrangement. Not orchestra, but, a lot of pieces in the band. And it's great. She really is a very talented woman. And, made one mistake. We all make one mistake, right? Thinking Lance was a real guy.
At least.
Unbelievable.
At least.
All right.
3-point
what do you have for
question.
NASCAR?
Football. The NFL Defensive Player of the Year
Do I sound bitter
award
about relationships?
Well, we did laugh.
No, just factual.
Shit out there.
All right, what were
The
you saying,
NFL
Dave?
Defensive Player of the The NFL Defensive Player of the Year award began in 1971. Who won that first Defensive Player of the Year award way back in 71?
Tough one, Dave.
Was it Alan Page, Joe Green, Harvey Martin, or Ted Hendricks?
Jesus.
Ooh.
Harvey Martin.
Harvey Martin.
Oh, good guess. He was a co-MVP in the Super Bowl, but it was Alan Page of the Purple People
Oh,
Eaters.
wow. See, now I thought it was going to be your man Ted Hendricks, because you love Ted Hendricks. I mean, he's always out there at the
I do.
Larry
Super
Little
good
golf
guy.
tournament. Yeah. Great
Yep.
guy. Wacky, too, right? I mean, he was known as a real character back in the day. Ted Hendricks.
Born in Guatemala, and he was a physics
The Mad
major.
Stork.
Graduated top of his class. Yep.
And University of Miami,
5-point
right?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, UM. And the Hialeah T-Breds. Right near
Wow.
Hialeah Park. Hialeah Thoroughbred. Yep, that's where he
Home
went
of
to
the
high school.
Thoroughbreds. Exactly.
Yep.
All right.
You
Great
think
local
see him
ties.
in Miami Hialeah all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Ted Hendricks loved Miami Hialeah.
Everybody knows this guy. It's
Yep.
great, man. Louis, did you ever run into
Yeah,
Ted the
absolutely.
Mad Stark Hendricks in your
Some of the
lifetime?
Dolphin stuff, I don't know about at Highlight.
No.
Super nice guy. Super nice guy.
You wouldn't be inclined to be at a highlight front for any reason whatsoever, even with free food involved, which was very good back in the day at both Miami and Dania Highlight,
And
especially.
Dania. Yep.
At a very
All right,
classy
5-point
restaurant.
question.
Here we go.
All right, baseball. Who won the first outstanding designated hitter award in Major League Baseball back in 1973? Was that Don Baylor, Ron Bloomberg, Rico Cardi, or Orlando Cepeda?
You've been tough on NASCAR Roger.
Cepeda.
Cepeda. Yes.
Is correct. Well done with the Boston Red Sox. And a boy,
Wow.
Roger. Well done.
Orlando Cepeda. Very good. NASCAR Roger knows his stuff.
More so
Yeah.
you'll probably be in the final. So just hang around and I'll get back to you there.
Don't go far, NASCAR Roger, because we're going to conclude this game here shortly. Now, we do have room for another player or two, so you can dial us up at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070 if you'd like to play the game. Gurggles, yes, you were going to say.
Yeah, while we're waiting, I have to say hello to Terry and Robin Cook. There's some friends of mine that I taught high school with him 40 years ago in a vocational school. He was the masonry teacher. They're retired from Western Pennsylvania. They came down to visit with us. They're staying in what we now call the Miami Lakes Hotel on Main Street. We're going to take a ride down to Key Largo today, and just some nice folks. Him and I did a lot back in Pennsylvania. We did a lot of masonry work together in the summertime and made some good money doing that. So they're down here visiting retired people. Wish them nothing but the best. They may even be tuning in on YouTube. Who knows? But we got to spread the word a little more about us. Yep, and we'll get the word out on YouTube. I'm going to talk to Shula Steak 2 is now called ML Steaks and Sports. And I'm going to talk to the guy over there about maybe getting involved with us on this show a little bit and then getting the word out about our show in general, because people are missing a good thing by not being on.
Well, and you're on top of it, Dave Gergely. All right, Perdomo Cigars, let's pay homage once again to great Nick Perdomo, and then we'll continue here with our colossal game and head to the finals. I love the fact that you brought props.
Oh, yeah. This box is a great Perdomo cigar box, but you don't have to buy them by the box. You can buy them individually, or you can buy gift certificates or anything you want at Perdomo Cigars. I was there last week, 5150 Northwest 167th Street. They were remodeling the whole place. Nick and Nick Jr. are now involved in it. Fourth generation make that, of making Cuban seed tobacco cigars perfect one at a time. You can call them 305-627-6700. Better yet, go there in person. Lauren, who's Nick Jr.'s lovely new wife, and congratulations to Nick's daughter, who had a baby as well. So the Perdomo family keeps growing, and their cigars keep growing in how popular they are. The Maduro 10th anniversary, I said, is the cigar of the year, voted again. So go there in person, call them on the phone, or if you want to go online to find out more about them, www.perdomocigars.com.
Well, you might have seen some smoke signals coming from a place called Bonefish Max yesterday, which is Sample Road and Federal Highway. Nice sports bar and a good family joint, good place to hang out. I think they're Pittsburgh Steelers fans that flock there for the games, but they do a nice job with everything. And but we were planning a big powwow with Tommy Fox and John Kajemi and me, and we're planning our visit down to Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill in Key Largo, which the Jimmer is going to be a part of this thing, and it's going to be a colossal day of video and audio streaming and probably archival type of stuff. Would you say, Lubie, this is one of those things that we
Oh, yeah.
Put together, and then that's our thing, right? Hey, yeah, you want to get a new sponsor involved? Here it is, man. Here's the Jimmer. So looking very much forward to getting down there because it's great also. I hope you can make it down there with us on the day that we go. Probably be doing it on a Monday. Yeah, because it's fantastic, and the food is great. They do a terrific job down there. Don Kajemi, John's brother, who was a very talented athlete himself, highly coveted high school recruit coming out of St. Thomas Aquinas, but decided to go in another direction. And man, I mean, did he make it work? This guy is a world-class chef, and he's back there making virtually everything. Lubie, did you see that? I mean,
Yes.
they're serving, like hundreds of people. And everything's coming out. And there's Don Kajemi. Okay, yeah, the fisherman's special there. That goes to table 24. No, just great. Outside, the environment is fantastic. And, of course, tremendous vibe there all throughout the football season with the remodeled sports bar they have at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. It's just a short jog down there from Florida City. So if you're traveling to Keys, either direction, coming back north, and you're thinking, hey, where's a great place to stop and eat and get a little more of that Keys relaxation? It'll be Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. That's mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway, jimmyjohnsonsbigchill.com. You can find out about accommodations, which are very deluxe. I can assure you. I couldn't show Lubie the room, Dave.
Exactly. I would have been
because he's I don't know that his accommodations were necessarily first class. I think he was sleeping like in a shoebox at this guy's like studio apartment. Yeah, that he had in Islamorada, and then slept in. Yeah. And I'm there in this like 3-bedroom, magnificent townhouse suite with a wraparound balcony overlooking the bay there, and guys strumming a flamenco guitar as the sun sets and the birds take off and go flying. Very exclusive accommodations. You can check those out at jimmyjohnsonsbigchill.com. Larry Calvano, man, the guy that owns the joint, he is something else, man. And then they get up and sing with the band after they're working all day, Gurggles. Can you imagine?
Beautiful.
Like the Polyman grabbing a microphone. Oh,
yeah.
All right. We're coming back. We'll try and get some more contestants into the game. I think we have some people lined up. And also, we'll go to the finals in the next segment of the program here. It's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on Ion Channel. Mike Lubitz orchestrating things in Studio B. I'm Jeff Deforrest here in Studio A. And Dave Gergely at the new Miami Lakes Country Club, correct? MLCC.
Miami Lakes Golf Club. Miami Lakes Golf Club. Yep.
Okay. Are people wondering, hey, what happened to Shula?
They're still involved.
Yeah, and
is there a sign?
Not a problem. Everybody
down
knows
there?
the story. Everybody knows the story. Coach's legacy is still around. He was on the 16th hole. The naming rights agreement ended, and both parties just mutually went our own way. The Graham family, who built this in the 60s when it was Miami Lakes Country Club, just reverted back and used the Miami Lakes name again, with all due respect to the Shulas.
Yes.
Is that one cow still alive and out there in that pasture? It's next
There's more than
to
one.
a very small pasture. I don't even know if you can call it a pasture. It's like a
There's more than one
front yard in Little Havana, but it's and there was always that cow there to comply. I love that, man. What an angle, man, to comply with agricultural laws. I want to try and turn this place into a casino on that basis. All right,
You just use your Indian heritage. That'll work out well. Yeah.
Well, there's some good and some bad there. I mean, it just depends which tribe you're talking about, right? Isn't that all about life?
Wow.
All right. No, we're coming back with more here in a moment. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. There's a casino that you can count on. Never mind mine here, because the odds may not be in your favor, but they are there at Hialeah Park, and you can play to your heart's content on the weekends till 5 in the morning, and on the weeknights until 3 in the morning. So not too much differential there, but good stuff nonetheless. People are partying there, and the boxing is going to be sensational. I think Lubie's still planning on going. I don't know if you want to get down there, Gergs.
I do plan on going.
I may. I'll get a hold of Frank. Yep.
Okay, yeah, because it's going to be great. I'm telling you, these are exciting fighters, and it's the 28th. That's coming up a week from Friday, a week from tomorrow. And they really do a dynamite job staging any events there. And in particular, the boxing comes off. It's just absolutely fantastic. Great atmosphere for the sport. That's happening at Hialeah Park. All right, we'll come back and wrap up this game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge in a moment. Now that. Did I mention the accommodations at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill?
Yes, you did. Yes.
8 to 8:25.
It's the Gambling Gourmet for Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half Sally. They are giving the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. You know, since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapists, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
Obviously, the people here know you very well, Tony Segreto. You were ingrained. The Atlanta Falcons organization is always, it seems like, in some form of upheaval, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
So they come in here a disheveled mess, and here's Greer with what should be a very polished team 3 years after a tank job, loaded with all kinds of great new talent, and sparked by a fresh young quarterback who they had targeted all along to be the guy that was going to guide their fortunes. And I literally thought Deshaun Watson was going to start the fourth quarter. Right? Chris Greer's on the phone the entire first half. Hey, we'll take him. No, I don't care. Tell his lawyer to call me.
Tell his lawyer to call me.
Disaster.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Morning once again, everybody. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, Dave Gurggles, Gergely, the Defo Show, featuring today the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, about to wrap up our colossal jumbo game of the challenge here on ION Channel. You can always Google the Defo Show and catch the archives that are now attached to this program after, about 3 months of doing this thing. Yeah, you'd think we would get it down eventually. We will. No, happy to be with you guys, and happy to have you guys finding us. Google the Defo Show. You can find us. You can plug it in on audio as well in your automobile, and you get the best of all worlds, audio and now video streaming. It's great, too, and it's not always easy changing jobs. I was playing a little tennis with my son last night, Dave Gurggles, Gergely, and Lubie, and he just had a job change, right? He got a nice offer from a company.
Nice.
Went back to the place where he was working, said, hey, looks like I'm leaving. And they did their best to try and persuade him to stay. But nonetheless, they parted on good terms. And, so now he's working for a company that's based out of California. And what's great about today's reality is you can change jobs and then you don't have to do anything. You're still sitting in the same place at home. It's fantastic. Because you don't physically go anywhere anymore. Thank God for this. I
Right.
mean, it's just phenomenal. You don't have to meet a whole bunch of new people and pretend to be a nice guy. None of this stuff, right? Act like, yes, I am, the perfect employee, right? Anything the company says to do, I'm all for it. Right? I mean, you don't have to pretend. I mean, you just sit at home in your underwear and do your job. It's fantastic. So that's a nice thing. All right. Let's get into one more contestant here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We have, so far, NASCAR Roger with 7 points. He nailed a very difficult 5-point question. And he is in the clubhouse getting ready to face off against one of what could be a couple of challengers, including, as we get a next set of questions going, whoever is up there next to play the game. So go ahead, fire off a question here, Gurggles, and then we'll roll the scrambler.
All right, football. This Detroit Lions player, after rumors he was betting on the sport of football, one day as captain, when asked by the officials to call the coin toss, retorted, "Sorry, sir, I'm not allowed to gamble." What's that? Alex Karras, George Maharis, Phil Harris, or Harris English?
Phil Harris was great, huh? I mean, for the uninitiated, he was the guy that was always blasted on the American Sportsman, right? When he was catching trout with Kurt Gowdy. That was great. All right, we have, believe it or not, Lenny the Chronic. Lenny the Chronic,
right.
we're honored to have you competing here on the show. How are you, my friend? As in Lenny the Chronic.
Lenny, you're there, aren't you?
After that big intro.
Okay. Hey, here you go.
There you go. There you go.
There he is. There he is. There he is.
Busy man.
Hit something there, Lubie. Okay, Chronic, how are you, my friend?
A little hectic. I'm doing good. Happy Thursday.
Happy Hanukkah. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
Hanukkah.
Moving right along.
All right.
Baseball,
he's got the
true
first
or false?
All right.
Baseball. In 1965, Jim Mudcat Grant hosted a local Minneapolis variety television program called The Jim Grant Show, where he sang and danced. True or false?
False.
No, that's true, isn't it?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Hard to believe, but it's true.
No, I kind of remember that, because it was very uncharacteristic of an athlete to do anything that didn't seem like almost militaristic in terms of their, off the field behavior. And, here was this guy, and he was like, Scatman Crothers there. He was fantastic. All right, one going for 4 here, Lenny. This would put you into the finals.
Football, Lenny. In addition to the 1966 Dallas Cowboys, this other team scored a record 50 or more points 3 times in the same season. Who was that?
All right.
Was it the St. Louis Rams, the Washington Redskins, the Minnesota Vikings, or the Oakland Raiders?
I'll go with the Rams.
Rams.
No, it was a 69 Minnesota Vikings, as a matter of fact.
All right, still a chance at 6 points and an automatic berth in the finals here, Lenny, which you may make anyway. So good luck with this one.
I like that.
This would clinch it for you. You can clinch the division with this answer.
All right. Baseball. With which team did Dick, don't call me Richie Allen, end his career in 1978? Was it the St. Louis Cardinals, the Chicago White Sox, back again with the Phillies, or the Oakland Athletics?
I'm going to go with the Athletics.
That's what I would say.
That's right.
That's correct. Yes.
He wore on his back number 50, and he, instead of his name, he had the word Wampum, Wampum, his hometown in Pennsylvania. Very well done.
Very good. All right.
Hold on.
We're going to have the Chronic square off against NASCAR Roger, a couple of perennial champions here on our Ion Channel edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Hialeah Park, once again, I mean, it's going to be great. You guys don't want to miss out on this because you know me. Been a boxing fan for as long as I can remember. Loved everything about it. The history, the characters that are involved. It was a pleasure to be around the game to whatever extent I was able to be a part of it. And it's one of those sports you can kind of integrate yourself into as a member of the press or even as a fan, which is not necessarily characteristic of, say, Major League Baseball or basketball. I mean, you really get to know these guys and appreciate them. And then if you can follow them through, especially their early portions of their career live and get out there to Hialeah Park and see these guys. These Cuban fighters that are on the scene right now are very exciting, Dave Gurggles. I mean, there have been a lot of great Cuban fighters that have come over the years, and many have become accomplished professionals. This current kind of group that's here right now, and a lot of them training in Miami, spectacular. So they're going to put on a whale of a show. They always do at Hialeah Park. Your tickets are available at hialeahpark.com for the big boxing card coming up Friday, January 28th, a week from tomorrow at beautiful Hialeah Park. All right.
Yeah, why not make a day of it and go out there and maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, bet some races. You could bet Santa Anita, and then you walk right out to the apron like we did last time. What a great show it was, man. We had great seats. The fights were terrific, too.
Yeah, a little Cuban sandwich on the way home from what is now part of Junior's Bistro. Just absolutely phenomenal. And, take a shot in a casino, too, because people are winning there. I see jackpots taken down all the time. 25 dimes was the last one I saw. That was just a couple of days ago. All right, we're ready for the finals here. Lubie has put this thing together, which is fantastic. And this is the championship of this week's edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. 2 fabled players here are going to square off. That would be NASCAR Roger and Lenny the Chronic. And here's how it works, guys. You're both familiar with the rules, but I think I just got a text from Jack Namer saying FCC regulations say you better state the rules, Defo. There's no 3 knockdown rule. Only the ref can stop the fight. The fight goes to the scorecards after 4 rounds if it's stopped by an accidental headbutt or a foul. No, the rules are this. Dave's going to fire off a question. Call out your name if you want to answer. If nobody answers right away, we offer multiple choice. The first person to call out his name gets first choice, and we go back and forth until we have a winner. Good luck, gentlemen, for the championship of this week's edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge and the a spot possibly in the Ion Channel Contest Hall of Fame. Here's Dave Gergely.
Ooh.
All right. NHL hockey. This past week, the Boston Bruins honored the first black player in hockey, Willie O'Ree, by retiring his jersey. Well, Willie O'Ree, back the week before Christmas in 1960, was called up to join the Bruins, spent the rest of the season with them. On New Year's Day of that year, 61, he scored his first NHL goal, a game winner against...
Ooh. Wow, that's a tough one, Dave.
Was it the
Here are the
Montreal
choices.
Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Chicago Blackhawks, or the Detroit Red Wings?
Roger.
Anybody?
NASCAR,
Go
who
ahead.
was it?
The Red Wings.
Red Wings. Incorrect.
No.
3 left for
Typical Lenny fashion, he lets the other
Chronic.
guy go first so he can narrow it. Yeah.
It's a
Was
tough
it
question.
Montreal, Toronto, or Chicago?
Go Toronto.
Toronto. Not the Maple Leafs.
All right, 2 for NASCAR.
2 left for NASCAR.
Roger, was it Montreal Canadiens or Chicago Blackhawks?
The Blackhawks.
Oh, man.
Backdoor for
man.
Lenny.
Backdoor
The
for Lenny. He's
Montreal
gonna be-
Canadiens against goalie Charlie Hodge.
He's going to be coming in the back door of Landlubbers with a ski mask on because he's going to be robbing Alex Shafrin blind
See tonight. Hopefully you'll
with
be
yet
out.
another $25 gift certificate to Landlubbers.
Thanks for playing.
And,
guys.
Try the
Plantation.
coleslaw.
All right, thank you guys very much for participating in the game. Great job by you, Dave Gergely. Excellent questions today. And it was a pleasure hearing from the Polyman, and it left me feeling optimistic that the Polyman's return to the program in his full capacities is, dare I say, imminent, my friend?
Imminent. Yes.
Imminent.
Now, will you be here? Will we be on next Thursday, or will you be in Vegas?
I will be in Las Vegas, but we're going to make some arrangements to do something. Not sure exactly
I'll work
what.
with Lubie on that.
Yeah, you work with Lubie on that. Maybe Lubie could, he could host this thing.
I didn't even think about that. We could just do the show. I mean,
I think we could just do the thing. Yeah,
we could just
you
do
guys
that.
could be on.
hosted
Yeah,
it before. I mean, it's not new. So
We'll be in touch.
many times when called upon to substitute, Lubie has done an outstanding job to rave reviews.
Yes.
I think that's what we'll do. We'll be here next week. So anyone who loves the trivia challenge, no worries. We will be on next Thursday.
I love that, man.
Okay.
That's dedication. You're in on that, Gurggles?
Yep, not a problem.
Okay.
talk to
All
you
right.
next
Sounds good. All right. And that's good for all of us because we love promoting Hialeah Park. Great place. Check it out. I'm telling you, fans, the boxing there, Lubie, you witnessed this with me.
Amazing.
You were skeptical. Oh, yeah. Usual, response to, hey, you want to do something great, Lubie? This is going to be fantastic. Maybe even a life-changing moment for you. You're like, yeah, why would I want to do that? And you went, man. I mean, when you see like the sweat flying with every punch, I mean, it's crazy. And the atmosphere is a big part of any kind of a boxing event, and they really do have a great atmosphere for it at Hialeah Park. So go online, get your tickets there while they're hot. They must be close to a sellout, Louis. I'm gonna have to check because I would imagine that this is a really really hot ticket right now, especially with the Cuban fighters that are on the card there and the Cuban connection, of course. You have at Hialeah Park, just going to be brilliant, electrifying night of sporting activity there at Hialeah. I love it when that happens because these guys always know how to hit a home run. All right, so check that out at HialeahPark.com. You can get your tickets. We'll come back and wrap things up. We have a few things to talk about, do we not, Mike Lubitz?
Always. Yes, sir.
We gave you a very vague peripheral view of our opinions, and I don't remember who either of us picked.
You were doing the game by game thing. I'm like, when do we do this? I'm like, what is going on? This is my dream.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people are trying to get out at this stage. And it's a very dangerous time for a gambler, in addition to being a very promising time, because it's kind of like what is it? Is it Yom Kippur? Yeah, Yom Kippur, where you can be awash of all of your sins. It's a great Jewish tradition and the highest of holidays.
It's like how they do go to confession every week. The Catholics,
and you're off the hook. You're off the hook, maybe for the season of getting buried. I mean, they're literally throwing dirt on your grave since midway point of the season. And maybe in one shot, right? Do we have to parlay all 4 games? Is that what we're going to give our listeners as a guideline? We'll have to have a consensus parlay of all 4 games. But very tough call. I think, what would you say is the toughest call of those 4 games? Toughest call. I think the 49ers are going down in flames against the Green Bay Packers. I believe that.
It's the Chiefs Bills. Look, I'm definitive about the Chiefs just because they've written off Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Andy Reid, and I think that's ridiculous. But the Bills are better. The Bills have grown every single year, and it would be dumb to just totally write them off. That's the best game of the weekend. That is the AFC Championship game.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no, that's a great
That's the toughest one, by far. I can go through, because the funny thing is, the Rams and the Bucks is one people are tied up on. I'm not. The Bucks are massively injured, and the Rams are healthy. So for the first time the entire year, I think the Rams are going to win that.
But the Rams do carry with them a choke factor, going all the way back to Vince Ferragamo, my friend, to the great Ray Malavasi, a choke.
So for me, maybe for you, you're pretty convinced with the Bucks. So to me, I think the Bills Chiefs.
No, I don't know about the Bucks. Like you say, they have their injury problems, and I'm amazed by the fact that Brady's statistics are as gaudy as they are.
They're crazy
to the point where he probably wins the MVP.
Yep.
Maybe even in a landslide over Aaron Rodgers, who I think was the odds maker's favorite to win the MVP. Even recently, I haven't checked this out lately because I love following this because it's such a vague thing to bet on, isn't it? Like, would you bet on Joel Embiid to win the MVP in the NBA at 5-1 right now?
The problem is
Joel Embiid. He had 50 points for the 3rd night in a row or something last night. A monster game. He played 27 minutes, had 50 points and 10 boards. Joel Embiid.
Well, but the Sixers are in the 5th spot, and I don't know if they're going to do any moving up. The top 3 to 4. Well, I guess the Sixers could overtake the Bulls. If he could get into if he could, without Simmons, get the Sixers into a top 4 spot, then he probably has as good a chance as anybody.
Well, Steph Curry is a big favorite to win it this year. Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, of course. And now that Klay Thompson is there, I mean, one of the things that has to happen usually is you have to be on a team that is substantially on the upside in terms of winning.
Yes.
And, that would make a little prohibitive for the 76ers. Are the 76ers insane, by the way? I saw that there was supposedly a trade proposition with the Sacramento Kings to unload Ben Simmons, who is a disgruntled...
Not playing.
Obviously has some kind of mental block. Is a powder and doesn't work very hard are the things. And that's why the people were mad at him. That's why Embiid, it was almost like a Kobe Shaq type of thing. Maybe on a smaller level, and in reverse, where the big man is the one who's telling the other guy who's supposed to be this, athlete, and not a particularly great shooter, so he has to make up for it by working. And what's he do? He's like dogging it, according to everybody. His mind not fully in it. So anyway, if you had a chance to unload this guy for anything, wouldn't you do it?
Yes. they have this idea that he's the guy that we saw the first 3 quarters of the season last year. And they don't realize everyone else forgets that guy. They remember the guy we saw in the playoffs and then like not scoring for entire fourth quarters.
The Kings, not known for their front office ingenuity and or ability,
brilliance.
I mean, been a disaster of an organization forever. And make all kinds of insane moves and somehow have number 1 picks, first, second, third overall, year after year, and they still, you don't even notice that they're still in the league, right? And when you see the Kings on the schedule, and I don't know, I mean, maybe they're doing a little better this year. I don't think so, though. Don't you figure whoever was playing the Kings probably got a win last night? That's the perception of the organization. But they were offering like Buddy Hield and a couple of other, players, plus supposedly 2 first-round draft picks for Simmons and a couple of guys, that are deceased. Which is one of the great things about NBA trades is that you have a contract of a dead guy, and they still have to pay him $57 million a year because Adam Silver is selling sneakers in China in proportions that nobody could ever imagine. Plus television rights, right? It fills a lot of TV time. There were some good ball games last night in the NBA, but doesn't it sound weird? I mean, if it was just 2 first-round picks alone for Ben Simmons, wouldn't you go ahead and make that deal? Is Buddy Hield that much of a stiff, the former Oklahoma star?
No, he can shoot.
I thought he's pretty good, yeah.
What you need around Embiid. Like, I don't know what more he's doing. He's lost his mind.
I mean, why would you? Maybe that's not a real trade. I mean, it's possible, but sure if it's anything close to that package from the Sacramento Kings, and you can unload what is just dead weight.
Yeah, it's a waste. He's not playing for them. Like, he's not going to play for them. Like, it just makes no sense.
What am I missing about pulling a trigger?
Scoop Skolnick, and you can find us on 5 Reasons Sports.
Yeah.
Tweeted something, and he's right. He's like, if this is Pat Riley, like, he would have gotten rid of Simmons. Like, Shaq had way less to offer, and he got like an all-star in Sean Marion. Like, if this is Riley by now, we're lucky that it's not, because the Sixers would be way better than they are. It would have been done like in the offseason. Like, he wouldn't have waited this long. He wouldn't have messed around with this. Like, this is stupid what they're doing.
The Heat again last night, man. Unbelievable. This scrub ball that they're playing. Now they got Bam Adebayo back.
Yeah, but no one else.
Tyler Hero was like COVID, all of a sudden. He's on protocols. Didn't Jimmy Butler get tossed out of the game?
Lowry didn't play. Butler was playing, got a tech, walked away from the ref, didn't say anything, but it was like a young ref trying to, get some attention.
Teed him up again, yeah.
Teed him up again for no reason, threw him out, and they still won versus the Raptors.
Yeah, well, Portland is having a really bad season. And, Chauncey Billups probably regrets that was a job that he ended up with at this stage because it's not looking good for him. And he looked despondent after this ball game. Portland now weighing in at a surprisingly lame 18-26. This was one of those promising young teams as recently as last year.
Yeah. Yep.
People were a little bit, they eventually were going to get knocked out of the playoffs. But, as they say, it was the proverbial tough out. And the Heat now, I mean, amazingly, 29-16 with a lot of problems. Spoelstra should be coach of the year, no?
Oh, no, he's a front runner. And I guess Kerr, because the Warriors, I forgot about the Warriors. Like, they've had the number 1 and number 2 record all year long, and they've been playing with a lot of young dudes, a lot of injuries. The Heat are right there, though. The Heat's record is like top 5 or 6 in the NBA, and their best 4 have only played 11 games together. That's ridiculous.
The Warriors don't benefited from like a San Antonio Spurs situation. When they, they ended up like having one bad year, and they got Tim Duncan to pair up with the Admiral.
We got some young guys that are
right because they had all of a sudden like the number 1 pick, and that's what happened with the Warriors. They got like the number 2 pick, and in the meantime, they were about to come back and be made whole again, especially now that they have Klay Thompson back in the lineup. But the Phoenix Suns, you see who's lighting up every night there, Mr. Draft.
Your guy, I know.
That was Devin Booker.
I know.
How could I see this and the NBA scouts could not see this? I mean, from watching a guy take 2 shots at Kentucky, right? Anyway, the Heat somehow are doing it, and Spoelstra, I think he should be the coach of the year. Either that, or he's a fool for not playing some of these guys sooner. But blossoming in the Heat system and the Heat culture, I mean, it makes your heart aflutter, is it not, to think of Heat culture if you're a Miami Heat fan or in South Florida, or you love Pat Riley like we do, and see this Caleb Martin guy come out of woodwork here. I mean, from what? Who ever heard of this guy?
Never heard of Well, the year 7 guy, who now isn't getting minutes because Spoelstra doesn't understand how to play 3 big guys, was playing like a monster before he
I love that you threw a shot at Spoelstra as you're nominating him for Coach of the Year.
I like Spoelstra and he deserves it, but he also
as if he was John Blutarski coaching.
7 should still be playing. Like, just because Bam comes back doesn't mean you can't find room for your 7. The guy was playing out of his freaking mind. Like, he was going to get Rookie of the Year votes. Like, and now he's not getting any minutes. It's like a weird change of fate. But the Heat are tied for the 4th best record in the league. And again, their 4 best players have only played 11 games together. Like, that's nuts.
Could be a dangerous proposition later on in the season, which, it's hard to imagine that you're only about halfway through the NBA season. It seems like that's been going on forever right now. Yeah. And that's while being totally immersed. I mean, the spotlight completely on.
Yep.
And nobody could question this. The number 1 sport far and away, Roger Goodell making $63 million a year because the NFL is numero uno by a long, long way. And we'll have the entire spotlight both Saturday and Sunday coming up this week. All right, we're going to take a short break here and come back with more on Ion Channel, the Defo Show. A lot of fun. Good job by Lenny the Chronic backing his way into a championship.
I'll pull that out of his ass.
And another gift certificate to Landlubbers. He's going to put Sufreen out of business, this cat, just with his trivia expertise. But we appreciate all the people that played the game today. It was a lot of fun. And, of course, Dave Gurggles, Gergely, a great job. The Polyman makes an appearance here on the program. It's all tied into Hialeah Park and the beautiful job that they do. And as we've been touting a week from Friday night, the boxing card, whatever tickets are left, gobble them up at HialeahPark.com or the Hialeah Park box office. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubitz. Come back with a couple of final thoughts here in just a moment on Ion Channel. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:51. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
I have sinned against you, my Lord.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
And welcome back to the show. A lot of fun conducting the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge today. Good job there, Lubie. I thought that went well by the new system here on on channels. And we thank, as always, Dave Gergely for coming up with some great questions.
Yes, thank God for birds.
Dave Gergely. Yeah, no, that was tremendous. It's probably not wise to mix politics and sports on these type of shows. During the Trump administration, of course, there was just a tremendous division, or so it seemed, Louis. Like you would say this, and somebody else, the other dissidents would come in from the other side, and then another layer of dissidents would come in, and before you know it, you were arguing about who makes a better fruitcake. But there's posters with Steve Bannon on there, and Trump, and this and that. And yesterday, though, there's this Biden press conference. I mentioned this earlier in the program when we were coming on the show when Dave was with us, that actually Biden's, I was trying to think, who does he remind me of? And he reminded me of Casey Stengel when he was with the Mets. I mean, he had already kind of lost it, Stengel, at that point, but he was the author of some great quotes that were very Biden-esque. And, I just took the time there during the break to take a look at a couple of them that, are very common, but nonetheless, whenever you're reminded of it, you realize that Stengel could have been president based on what we witnessed yesterday. As he ordered his club in spring training to kind of line up so that he could size everybody up, he says, all right, everybody line up alphabetically by height. That was his instruction. That sounded very much like Joe's smoking Joe Biden's position on the Ukraine, no?
God.
If they go in there, we'll take a look at what happens, and maybe we'll see.
Tangentially.
It was crazy. And I always like this one by Casey Stengel. Good pitching will stop good hitting every time, and vice versa.
How does that? That's mathematically impossible.
King Crimson, my friends. Confusion is my middle name. I mean, that's what we witnessed a little bit there yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, another King Crimson line. I feel, my friends, or I fear, my friends, our fate is in the hands of fools.
Yeah.
And,
we always say.
That's pretty much it. Huh? I mean, so there's no real solution, is what you're.
I just ignore all
the conclusion.
Focus on the day-to-day these days. That's why there's
at least I don't sense the same feeling of evil as I did before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we all have
maybe
our side.
that's good.
We've all gotten back to our lives. I mean, that's really all it ever was for me.
Very much so. All right. So where would it have stood? Let's say. So this is a little bit of a different circumstance in the hypothetical, Louis, that we were exploring earlier today with the Polyman and Dave Gergely. But if you had your wedding scheduled and then a free opportunity to go to Vegas came up, would you postpone the date of the wedding? Even though it was her idea that you get married at that particular time. She wanted to be a June bride, and it was like the last weekend in June. Now somebody calls you and says, maybe it's like somebody, with the wherewithal of the Duke, right? And they say, hey, I'm taking my private jet out to Vegas. You want to hop on board? I got a couple of empty seats.
So you so you don't go to your wedding.
Right. You ditch your own wedding, no?
No, you're talking to the wrong person. I love Vegas. It's great.
Oh God! Don't tell me. Really? You would go to the altar to get slaughtered?
Yes, I just did.
When you could easily have, been in Las Vegas and lost all of your money there, but at least had a good time doing it.
Make sure to go to Vegas again. You're like, if I'm getting married, fine, but it's happening in Vegas.
But if you lose all your money there, at least you're not stuck with a commitment that you no longer want to honor. Unless you sign some markers. And, or you're like Charles Barkley, right? And they know you're good for the money, but, they don't have to chase you, Charlie, huh? Let's not make us embarrass you this time, Charlie, huh? Just pay the $800,000. What kind of bad? I mean, I guess Floyd Mayweather. We haven't seen anything from Floyd lately, where he's bet like $3 million on a team in the Super Bowl.
He's gotten very quiet in that regard.
What happened, man? Did he go to Gamblers Anonymous? Floyd Money Mayweather?
I presume no. I presume he's losing so much that he has nothing to fake brag about. That was his move.
I mean, is that why he's in desperation? I guess. Look, if they said, "Hey, go in there and fight this guy Logan Paul," who we don't even know what he does. And exhibition, don't even worry about it. Like, it's not going to get too serious. Even though the guy weighs 100 pounds more than you, Floyd, why don't you get in there for like $25 million? Is that just to sustain a gambling habit, or would you be a fool to turn that money down if you were Money Mayweather?
Well, supposedly that's his thing. Is he's not great at, like he's made tons of money, but he's not a great money manager.
You would say that as he's throwing $100 bills in the air at a strip club while
100%.
people are being shot? It's, I mean, not funny, you know, what transpired there, but nonetheless, it's always Money Mayweather, right?
Yes.
You haven't heard a lot of incidents, though, of that type about him of late.
More quiet. Yep.
Yeah. He's not exactly TMZ's favorite child anymore in the sporting world. All right, that's going to do it for us. We had a lot of fun being with you today. It was a blast.
Sure.
Thanks so much for tuning in here on Ion Channel. And if you're listening on our various audio outlets, we appreciate Doug and the work that he does and all of that. Jack Namer, Amy, just a wonderful job here with Ion Channel and the expansion of the program. And, of course, Brad Schiller on all manners of technicalities and the technical area. Not really technicality so much because we don't pay much attention to that, right? Hey, you were way off there in that point spread, Defo. We don't care. All right, we'll see you tomorrow with a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. Jersey Kyle going to join us. Also, John Conjemi going to analyze the games for us as well. We'll have Mark Lawrence on the program and the Gambling Gourmet. So, a heck of a lot of fun on tap tomorrow here on Ion Channel. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, great job today, Lubie. Thanks for your participation and the preservation of the show for next week. That's very good of you to volunteer for that. I'm Jeff Deforrest. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time as we leave you on that. It's 9 o'clock.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.